Good morning, everyone. So today is going to be focused on doing some full body joint mobility specific to my basketball players. In quadruped, I want to spread the fingers out as wide as you can, feeling as much of the palm in your hand grounded, pressing into the floor as possible. We're extending our elbows fully without locking them out. I don't want to lock the elbows out, but I also don't want them to be bending. So I want to actively straight without feeling them go into lock. From here, taking a nice inhale as we're soft, sitting kind of back on our feet. Exhale, we're going to slowly rock forward, and we're very specifically loading into the wrist. I want to work on our wrist mobility in order to help with our shooting mechanics. Exhale as you rock forward. Inhale as you rock back. I want to make sure that we are not going so far forward that this is painful. This should feel good and pleasant on the wrists and the hands. Next, we're going to get into some mobility work for our feet. So I'm going to have you turn your feet, your heels all the way in so that the only toe that is tucked or touching is your big toe. And I want that toe to be tucked underneath as much as possible. From here, we're going to exhale and we're going to rock back, letting our hips move towards our heels, and we're going to feel that stretch on the big toe and into the arch of the foot. Inhale, we're going to rock forward. Exhale, rocking back. Again, I want to make sure that this is not painful on the toes, on the foot. After 5 to 10, we're going to turn our heels out so that all the other toes are tucked underneath. The big toe can touch, but it's not really tucked underneath. So we're getting to the outside part of the foot, doing the exact same thing. Inhale as we're forward. Exhale as we rock hips back to heels. After 5 to 10, we're going to lift our knees up and we're going to come into a deep kneel. Heels are off the floor. We're still working some foot mobility. From this position, I simply want to push the ball of the foot into the floor in order to lift the heels as high as you can towards the ceiling. Inhale, you're trying to reach your heels as far back to the floor like you're trying to touch the floor. Exhale, pressing all the way up. If you can maintain balance on this as you're reaching the heels back, see if you can touch the heels to the floor without falling. Exhale. See if you can maintain balance as you press your heels up to the ceiling. If you struggle with balance, it's okay to have hands touching the floor on both throughout this movement. But see if you can use your hands less and less in order to have better balance. After 5 to 10, we're going to come back to our quadruped, hands and knees on the floor. I want to keep the back toe tucked. And now we're going to do some cat-cows. We're going to scoop at the pelvis, tucking our pelvis as much as we can, pressing through the floor. Try to get as much rounding through the upper back and lower back as possible. We're going to press through our hands, and we're trying to touch our tailbone to our forehead at this imaginary point right in the middle, seeing how high can you arch your back like a cat. Inhale. You're going to tilt your pelvis down to the floor, reach your chest down to the floor, and your head is coming up. See how much can you fill up your belly here, feeling that breath expand down to the floor. On the inhale, exhale as you scoop and press. Inhale as you feel your belly open up to the floor. Nice big breath in and nice full exhale out. I want to push through the hands at the same time that you're scooping through the pelvis, reaching that spine up towards the ceiling. After 5 to 10 reps, now we're going to bring our hands forward. I want to keep my hips directly over the knees. I don't want my hips to come back towards the heels. So keeping the knees forward or the hips forward, walking our hands as far forward as we can comfortably, keeping the fingers spread wide, really well grounded through the palms. Elbows are fully extended. I want to press down into the floor with both hands actively throughout this movement. So I want to feel like I'm trying to really, like I got grapes under my hands and I'm trying to smash those grapes. Inhale as we're up. We're going to exhale as we reach our chest down to the floor. Inhale as you come back up. Exhale as we reach. With each one, we're seeing if we can reach the chest a little bit deeper. And I want to add one more little movement to this. As we're dropping down, you can scoop your pelvis similar to the way we did in that cat-cow. So we're scooping at the pelvis at the same time that we're reaching down through the chest. I want to make sure that we are not going so far that we're feeling pain in our shoulders or anywhere else in our body. On the last one, after 5 to 10 reps, we're going to reach down to the bottom and we're going to stay down. It doesn't have to be at the maximum, so I don't want to be at our biggest stretch, but I want to feel a little bit of light tension. From here, we're going to lift our knees up off the floor. And we're going to slowly walk our feet up a couple of steps, trying to keep our chest reaching down to the floor. My knees are still bent here. We're going to actively straighten one knee and reach that heel to the floor, seeing if you can feel some stretch in the calf or in the back of the leg in the hamstring area. We're working one leg at a time. Reach one heel, and then let that knee soften and bend as you actively straighten the opposite knee, trying to reach the opposite heel to the floor. We're going to alternate going back and forth. Each one, see if you can reach the heel a little further and actively straighten the knee. I'm actively trying to push the back of my knee back as I'm reaching my heel downward at the same time. I want to make sure that this is not painful. See if you can reach that heel a little bit further on each one. The heel does not have to touch the ground. If you're able to touch the ground, great. It is not a requirement for this movement. After 5 to 10 reps, now we're going to slowly walk. As you bend one knee, you're going to lift that foot up and bring it forward. Actively reach that heel, straighten the knee. As you're softening the other foot, you're going to lift it up and walk it a little bit further, a little bit forward. We're going to slowly walk our feet up to our hands. Try to maintain as much of your chest to the floor as you can. However, as your feet get closer, you're going to have to start to shift your shoulders more over your hands. I want to make sure that we are not falling, that we have good control of our shoulders. See how high can you walk your feet to your hands without lifting your hands up. Once you get your feet as close to your hands as possible, bend your knees and then actively straighten them. See how much can you actively straighten the knees, reaching those knees back towards the wall without going to pain. Inhale, let them soften. Exhale, lengthen and reach. And then we're going to slowly walk our feet back. With each one, placing the ball of the foot down, actively straightening the knee, reaching the heel down. As our feet back up, we're seeing if we can start to drop into our chest again, actively reaching the chest to the floor as we reach the heels to the floor at the same time.